Welcome to Uncovering World's Reality, your trusted source for breaking headlines, global insights, and sharp analysis from around the world. If you are new here, do not forget to hit that subscribe button so that you never miss an update. Why are there not more people talking about the Philippines' hidden oil and gas reserves? The sun beat down relentlessly on the steel deck of the exploration rig off the coast of Palawan, casting shimmering reflections across the endless blue sea. The air was thick with anticipation, every crew member acutely aware that today could mark a turning point not just for them, but for the entire nation. Among them was Rico, a seasoned roughneck whose hands bore the calluses of years spent at sea. As he guided the massive drill, he felt a sudden, unfamiliar shudder, a subtle but unmistakable tremor that ran up the steel and into his bones. This time, the vibration was different from anything he'd felt before. The pressure gauges flickered, and a hush fell over the crew. It was the telltale sign they'd been waiting for. The drill had pierced through to a new, deeper layer, and the pressure shift hinted at something extraordinary below. Monitors confirmed their hopes. Oil, thick and dark as midnight, began to seep into the test containers. The crew watched in awe as the viscous liquid filled the vials, each drop a promise of untold potential. For a moment, time seemed to stand still as the reality of their discovery sank in. Rico realized he was witnessing the awakening of a hidden national treasure, a resource that had slumbered beneath Philippine waters for millennia. The crew's faces lit up with pride and hope, knowing they were part of something far greater than themselves. For decades, the Philippines was celebrated for its breathtaking beaches, vibrant festivals, and rich cultural heritage. Energy resources, however, were never part of the national story, until now. Yet beneath its sparkling waters, especially in the vast expanse of the West Philippine Sea, lie immense reserves of oil and natural gas, resources that could reshape the nation's future. These hidden riches have long been the subject of speculation and dreams. For years, political disputes, territorial tensions, and logistical hurdles kept these resources locked away, just out of reach. International negotiations and local challenges made progress slow and uncertain until this breakthrough. Now, with cutting-edge technology and renewed determination, the Philippines stands on the brink of an energy revolution. Advanced drilling equipment and digital monitoring have made what once seemed impossible, possible. Even a single viable oil field could spark a transformation, shifting the Philippines from a nation dependent on imported fuel to a regional energy producer. This shift would ripple through every sector from industry to transportation and beyond. Energy independence means more than just fuel in the tank. It's about national security, economic stability, and the power to shape one's own destiny. It's about jobs, innovation, and a brighter future for every Filipino. This is a story of ambition and resilience, a story of new opportunities for workers, engineers, and dreamers. It's about a nation striving to harness its own potential and provide for generations to come. As the world turns its gaze to the Philippines, the nation's energy story is only just beginning. The glimmer of black gold on the horizon promises a new chapter, one filled with hope, pride, and the possibility of true independence. The Philippines' true wealth may lie beneath the sea, not on land. Surveys point to the Reed Bank, possibly holding more gas than the Malampaya field, as the crown jewel. Other promising areas include the Sulu Sea and basins around the main islands. International estimates suggest billions of barrels of oil and trillions of cubic feet of gas. But these resources are hard to reach. Deep water, advanced tech, and huge investment are needed. The biggest obstacle, though, is geopolitical. China's sweeping claims overlap the Philippines' own. Unlocking this treasure means navigating a high-stakes game of law, diplomacy, and power. The world's eyes are on the Philippines for good reason. In recent years, this vibrant nation has emerged as a focal point for international attention, drawing the gaze of governments, investors, and media outlets from every corner of the globe. The Philippines, with its strategic location and dynamic economy, is now at the heart of global conversations about energy, trade, and security. Global energy demand remains high, and the Philippines is one of Southeast Asia's last great frontiers. Its vast coastlines and proximity to major shipping lanes make it a critical hub for the movement of goods and resources. As the world seeks new sources of energy and more resilient supply chains, the Philippines stands out as a land of untapped potential and opportunity. Major companies see opportunity, while nations see strategic value in the South China Sea's trade routes. These waters are among the busiest in the world, carrying trillions of dollars in trade each year. Control and access to these routes are vital not just for regional players, but for the entire global economy. Investing here is both an economic and strategic move, supporting Philippine sovereignty and countering China's influence. Every handshake and agreement signals a commitment to stability and growth, while also reinforcing alliances that shape the balance of power in Asia. The Philippines has improved its investment climate, streamlining regulations and welcoming foreign partners. Recent reforms have made it easier for international businesses to operate, reducing red tape and encouraging innovation. This openness is attracting a new wave of capital and expertise. Energy diversification is key. Recent crises have shown the risks of relying on a few sources. The Philippines is investing in a mix of renewables, oil, and natural gas, aiming to build a more secure and sustainable future. This approach not only benefits the country, but also contributes to global energy stability. Developing Philippine oil and gas strengthens global supply chains. By tapping into its own resources, the country can help reduce bottlenecks and ensure a steady flow of energy to markets worldwide. This development creates jobs, boosts exports, and enhances resilience against global shocks. For investors and governments alike, the stakes are high and the rewards potentially transformative. The decisions made here will ripple across continents, influencing markets, shaping alliances, and determining the future of energy security for years to come. The Philippines is open for business, and the world is eager to engage. From boardrooms to government halls, there is a sense of optimism and urgency as leaders recognize the unique opportunities that lie ahead. This is more than a local story, it's a global energy shift in the making. As the Philippines steps onto the world stage, its choices and partnerships will help shape the future of energy, trade, and international cooperation for generations to come. China's strategy to block Philippine resource development in the South China Sea is both aggressive and highly coordinated, involving a range of tactics that go far beyond simple patrols. Over the past decade, China has steadily increased its presence in these contested waters, deploying not only its official coast guard, but also a vast fleet of maritime militia vessels. These ships, often operating in large numbers, are a constant reminder of China's determination to assert control over the region. The Chinese Coast Guard and maritime militia swarm disputed waters, frequently harassing Filipino vessels engaged in fishing or resupply missions. In several high-profile incidents, they have used water cannons and aggressive maneuvers to drive away Philippine boats, creating a climate of fear and uncertainty for those who depend on the sea for their livelihoods. The ultimate goal is clear: to make oil and gas exploration so risky and unpredictable that international companies hesitate to invest, and the Philippine government finds the costs, both financial and political, too high to bear. This strategy has already forced several projects to halt operations, stalling Manila's efforts to tap its own resources. Beyond the waves, China wields significant economic and diplomatic pressure. Chinese officials have repeatedly warned foreign firms against partnering with the Philippines, hinting at possible sanctions or loss of access to the lucrative Chinese market. These warnings are often delivered both publicly and behind closed doors, making foreign investors think twice before getting involved. China's use of gray zone tactics, deploying civilian-looking vessels to intimidate and shadow Filipino boats, further blurs the line between provocation and outright conflict. These ambiguous actions are designed to keep tensions high while avoiding a direct military confrontation, making it difficult for the Philippines and its allies to formulate a clear response. This deliberate ambiguity complicates any response from the Philippines and its partners, forcing them to weigh the risks of escalation against the need to defend their rights. The international community watches closely, but consensus on how to respond remains elusive. In an attempt to legitimize its claims, China has dangled the prospect of joint development deals. However, these offers come with strings attached. Manila must first acknowledge Chinese sovereignty over the disputed areas, a trade-off that would mean surrendering its own legal rights and setting a dangerous precedent. For the Philippines, these proposals are seen as little more than veiled demands for capitulation, prompting strong rejection from both government officials and the public. The standoff is about far more than oil or gas. At its core, it is a struggle over national sovereignty, the rule of law, and the right of a nation to control its own resources in accordance with international law. China's tactics are carefully designed to isolate Manila diplomatically and economically, deterring much-needed investment and making the Philippines appear vulnerable on the world stage. Yet despite mounting pressure, The Philippines is not backing down. Its leaders, navy, and people remain resolute, determined to defend their rights and uphold the principles of sovereignty and international law in the face of growing challenges. Despite China's power, its intimidation campaign is faltering. The Philippines has grown more assertive, increasing patrols and exposing Chinese aggression to the world. This resolve reassures investors. Manila stands by its partners. China's actions have backfired, pushing the Philippines closer to the US and other allies. Global sympathy and support for Manila are growing, while China's reputation suffers. Energy companies are used to risk. They've operated in conflict zones before. The potential rewards in the Philippines outweigh the risks for many. The 2016 Hague ruling invalidated China's 9-dash line, giving Manila a strong legal foundation. For investors, this legal clarity is crucial. The Philippines' position is anchored in international law, not just power. That makes all the difference. The Philippines isn't standing alone, it's building a coalition. Its alliance with the US is stronger than ever, backed by mutual defense commitments. Partnerships with Japan, Australia, and European powers add layers of security and support. Manila is also courting global investors, framing resource development as a sovereign right. By involving diverse international partners, the Philippines makes it harder for China to isolate or intimidate. The dispute is now seen as a test of the global rules-based order, not just a local quarrel. Every new partnership strengthens Manila's hand and weakens China's leverage. The Philippines' greatest weapon isn't military, it's legal. The 2016 Hague ruling erased China's 9-dash line and affirmed Manila's rights to its resources. This clarity transforms the dispute into a matter of law, not just power. Global powers have endorsed the ruling, giving the Philippines diplomatic muscle. Manila can now frame its actions as lawful, while China is seen as the violator. For energy companies, this legal certainty reduces risk and encourages investment. Contracts signed with the Philippine government are legitimate and defensible. International law is a shield that even China's navy can't break. The world recognizes Manila's rights, and that changes everything. Developing oil and gas could transform the Philippine economy. Energy security would shield the nation from global price shocks and reduce reliance on imports. New industries and jobs would emerge, from engineering to logistics, reversing the brain drain. Government revenues from taxes and royalties could fund schools, hospitals, and infrastructure. A sovereign wealth fund could ensure benefits for future generations. For ordinary Filipinos, this means better jobs, services, and opportunities at home. The promise of oil is the promise of a more self-reliant, prosperous nation. The glimmer Rico saw is hope for millions. August 25, 2025, the Philippines stands at a turning point. No longer a passive claimant, it's now an active developer of its own wealth. China's pressure remains, but the tide is turning. Manila's resolve, strong alliances, and international law are reshaping the region. Global partners see a stable, determined country worth investing in. Every new alliance and contract adds to the Philippines' shield. The journey ahead will be tough, but Manila is not alone. Its success will be a victory for sovereignty and the rule of law. The treasure beneath its waves is fueling a new national confidence. The Philippines is proving it can secure its future, on its own terms.